What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. Do me a favor real quick. Hit that like button, smack it, later smack down the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and a message out. Do it now. Topics to be covered. False righteousness. You see the title. We're getting into it. Oh, we're talking about it because it's a mess. So we're going to get into that false righteousness. Tell your peoples about the show because we're getting into it. It is a talk show, so if you want to call in and talk about anything, whatever it may be, whatever you want to get into, doesn't matter. If you want to talk about it, you can call in at 888-775-3773. And I don't mind the disagreements. Call in. I am not against it. And if you want to agree, I'm for it too. So you can call in at 888-775-3773 at any time during the live show and we can talk. And for whatever reason, if you cannot call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV and you can send your question or comments there. Or go directly to the YouTube live chat, hit the super chat button, and send them there as well. Send them there, read them live on air. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, shout out to my mods and to my peeps on YouTube. And shout out to the... Nice. Thank you. Shout out to the peeps in the chat. Let me see. Let me do this real quick while I'm shouting out the peeps in the chat. My mods, I got some new mods that are in there too. And shout out to my new mods holding it down. Welcome to the crew. But everybody in the chat is part of the crew. So nobody's excluded. But really quick, I do want to shout out real quick before we get started, and we're going to jump right to it because I got some clips I want to show you guys. Lord have mercy. But before we get started, I want to shout out Nick and James and Sean, probably the most helpful people I've ever met in my whole life. Like, so willing at any point to drop what they're doing and help you out. And like, it's like amazing because not all the time I know what I'm doing as far as like the technical stuff go. And at any point they drop everything they're doing and they come help. And I learn from that, literally, because I'm not that selfless. And they are. And so shout out to James Hake, Nick, and Sean. And other people too in the building, but I work with them specifically on certain things. And man, the standard is high on helpfulness. So thank you guys for doing that always. Let me get to, man, so much stuff. Guys, because in the world today, obviously the world is insane, right? Obviously the world is going through it, right? And we know that, and you know, there's not much you can really do besides let people live their lives and do what they're doing. And when you see to speak up, you speak up, but life just has to take its course. But I see a lot of like false righteousness in the Christians. Like they recognize wrongdoing, but they go about it in an insane way. Like not helping, not doing nothing, but standing firm in the name of righteousness and correction. And it's like just as bad because you're lying, you're not being genuine, and you're beating people up with the Bible. And I've done that before. So I'm not exempt from ever doing that. But I'm just recognizing people in the mainstream correcting the conservatives and the Republicans and the Christians correcting the liberals and all that stuff in like the silliest way, and as if they think that they're doing something right and righteous, but it's just as evil. And I want to get into that. But first, I want to show you something. I want to start off with some good. I mean, it's all going to be good news, right? But I want to start off with like righteousness. I want to first show you righteousness first. Let me go to this. It's a pic. I don't know if you guys seen it. You guys probably have seen it. But let me see if I can get to this pic real quick. So there's this pic here Donald Trump posted on his Instagram. He says, "It is important for the good of our country that Joe Biden and I debate issues that are so vital to America and the American people. Therefore, I'm calling for debates anytime, anywhere, any place. Debates can be run by the corrupt DNC or their subsidiary, the Commission on Presidential Debates, blah, blah, blah. I look forward to receiving a response. Thank you for your attention on this matter." Let me repeat the middle part again. I'm calling for a debate anytime, anywhere, any place. You know what I love about that? And mind you, let me go back to me. And mind you, like I said, I'm not all the policy and all that stuff. That's nice, right? Because we want somebody to do the job. But I love people who aren't afraid to just deal with things, right? To just deal with it. That's righteousness. Call it out. Let's debate, boy. Where you at? Whoever wants to debate, he's calling out Joe Biden, but it's like, let's debate. If you think that your policies are this, or you think that your beliefs are this, let's debate. Let's do it in front of all people. Let's go live in front of the world. Let's debate then. If I'm this and you're that, let's stop all the behind the scenes doing. Let's debate. I love that. That's manly. That's so manly. That's probably like, because it's also competition though. At the end of the day, it's also competition. Let's see who's sharper. Let's see who knows what they're talking about. And I love that type of stuff. Call it out. And ain't no way Joe keeping up with Trump. And it probably would never happen. Debate probably would never happen. If we get lucky, maybe. But ain't no way Joe, regardless of what Joe believes and what Trump believes, the truth will be revealed if you just are watching them debate, if they ever debate. Ain't no way Joe even has the energy to keep up with Donald Trump. Red flag right there. You know what I mean? Ain't no way he even say anything remotely smart enough to what Donald Trump would have to say, as far as whatever it may be. And that will reveal, and you know why most likely it won't happen? If it does, amen. But you know why most likely it wouldn't happen? Is because too much will be revealed to the public about Joe Biden versus Trump. It would have two energies that are totally different in one place, would reveal the light and the darkness, which is more than likely why they won't do it. But I love, that is so like, anytime, anywhere, let's debate. Let's like not do all this other stuff. Let's have a conversation and let's get to the bottom of it. Let's debate it then. Man, righteousness. Now, with that being said, hold on. With that being said, I'll come back to that because that's just like a whole show in itself. I'll come back to that, but Let's go to the false righteousness, because I have some clips I want to show you so you guys can see the difference, right? Because it's about your energy. It's about your spirit, right? And if your spirit is off, your spirit is off. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter what the policy. It don't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter. Your spirit is the truth. Your spirit is the truth. And what I want to show is a false version of it. And I'm going to pause and play because I have some commentary that I'm going to play in between it. What this is a interview from Charlie Kirk on the Whatever podcast. And I have it here. I'm going to play it in a second. But I guess Charlie Kirk Charlie Kirk is a Republican and founder of a Republican, what would you call it, group, Nick? Like a Republican group called? Student Action Group called, what is it? TPUSA. And he's a founder of that, makes a lot of money, very conservative, very Republican. But I saw him go on the Whatever podcast, and I seen a little clip of it, and I was like, that was my face, literally the whole time. And I want to play that. And you guys can tell me what you think. Hold on.
I'm in a relationship. It's been 10 months, and my longest relationship was about a year.
All right. Charlie, what about you?
Happily married.
Okay.
We've been together for 5 years, and we'll be celebrating our 3-year anniversary in May, and we have a beautiful daughter.
Now, you're being the only married person here. I think that's perhaps a good jumping off point. I think a lot of people, both men and women, they're kind of frustrated with the...
Sorry, guys. So I put this blur here because there's too many things going on with these women. So just a little bit of context. This Whatever podcast, if you guys aren't familiar, is with a bunch of girls who are liberals for the most part, and they're very open sexually about, their lifestyle, porn, all these things that they're involved in. And Charlie Kirk is a Republican, supposed to be conservative. And I put a little blur here because you get it.
Current dating landscape. Do you have any thoughts on this? What's your diagnosis and any solutions? And we'll open it up.
Sure. Yeah. I think people need to date with the intent to marry. Yeah, I'm a big critic of hookup culture in its current form. I believe sex should be sacred and is sacred. True. And it's really thrown away way too generously in this society and culture. And I can tell you, I'm super blessed. I have the best wife in the world. We have an amazing life. Building a family is the coolest thing ever. And my prayer for all of you is that you one day can do that. That's
so cute.
That's so cute.
It's honestly the most joyful thing. And I've had some pretty amazing experiences. I've been very, very blessed. Very lucky, you could say, but very blessed is the word I would use. And the greatest joy I've ever had is coming home to my little daughter running up to my leg. There's nothing that even comes close to it. Not flying on Air Force One, not meeting with presidents. That pales in comparison to your little girl coming up and squeezing your leg.
I gotta pause for a second because you sound crazy, boy. You sound fake and phony. Nothing compares in comparison to my daughter running up to my leg and hugging my leg, and it's such a joy and it's such a blessing. Like, it's so phony. And I have no sympathy for these type of conservatives because he's sitting up there about to judge these women. Meanwhile, he's thinking like he's holding himself, posturing himself up as if he's the noble one because he got a family and he got a child. But he talks about it in a fluffy, uncomfortable, disgusting way. And the spirit, you're seeing the spirit right there. It's false and phony. It's emotional. So I wouldn't trust him no more than I trusted the other ones. And it's important that I call that out because some people will root for that side as if he's the righteous one. No, that's false righteousness. And I'm going to explain more. Let me go back before I get carried away. What the?
Okay. Got it. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that with,
Yeah. So I just wanted to circle back because you said something that caught my attention, and I disagree with it. Because you said something like, I hope all of you can like experience that, and like you said something like, I hope all of you can experience that, and I mean, I don't disagree with that. I hope we can all experience joy in life like that. That's amazing, but I just feel like I don't know why you said it that way. Like maybe we're not going to experience that because we don't have the same values as you.
Is that what he said?
From that,
I thought it was.
I don't
I
think
agree
that's
with her though. What she's saying.
That's not the impression I got, but if Charlie wants to answer.
Well, if I said it that way, I didn't mean it that way.
If I said it that way, I didn't mean it that way. Cause I'm a Christian and I'm on here and I'm trying to be polite, even though I'm in TPUSA and I'm not polite any other kind of way. I like to talk about things that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like he's trying so hard to be polite now because he feels like this righteousness that he's the Christian amongst these heathens. And now he wants to be, but check his other videos out. He's debating people like no other. Harsh, whatever you want to call it. But now he want to be, because he's posturing in this way of like, he's a Christian now amongst these heathens. And the girl wasn't entirely wrong. She's like, well, why do you, even though I disagree with what she's saying, but she's kind of like, well, what makes you think just because your belief that you won't find joy, which is true, right? But it's like, she's saying like, well, because she's already catching on that he thinks he's better. She's already catching on. The other girls, I don't know, they seem kind of silly. They're like, oh. But she's like, no, like, I don't care that you're conservative. I can have joy too. And she's delusional as well. And you'll see in a second. She's delusional as well, and I'm not agreeing with what she's saying at all. But like she's catching his like craziness. So let me go on.
But do you feel is that a goal that you have to be a mother?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that in your self-described current line of work that is more or less likely?
What do you mean by likely?
I mean, maybe you can tell me more about your line of work.
Maybe you could tell me more about your line of work? Is that more or less likely? Well, maybe you can just tell me about your line of work. He said a soft tone. And what he's doing is that he knows, like he's trying to be passive aggressive on purpose, but he's also trying to be nice in the name of him thinking that, let me not be mean to these heathens because they just don't know any better. Like, it's just false thing that's so disgusting and gross to look at. And this whole time, he thinks that he's this guy. And that's how a lot of conservatives think and Republicans think, in this weird type of arrogant way. And it's just gross. Let me go on.
What would you like to know?
Do you think that it's going to create a good, happy family in the future?
Right now I'm working on it. Yeah, me
That's
and
good.
my boyfriend are doing really well in our relationship. And
She lying.
honestly, I think contrary to what most people would believe, I think being in porn has strengthened us.
Why is that?
Being in
I've never
porn
heard that.
strengthened it.
You ever, when you were having sex, do you ever think it's more than physical? That maybe there's emotional and spiritual connections you might be introducing?
No.
So it's a purely physical experience.
Yeah.
Well, she's lying. We know that that's not true. We know that she's completely lying, or she's lost and confused. Because, come on.
See, for me, sex is more than physical. It's actually, that's the least part of sex for me, because I get to share it with my soulmate.
Oh my
best friend.
God, let me stop right there. The sex is the least part of... The sex is the least part of what because that's my soulmate. Stop it, Charlie. Stop it. you're digging yourself deeper. And maybe to some people, the other conservatives are like, yeah, he's telling them. But the real ones, they're seeing through this. And the only reason why I'm calling him out and not these other girls, because they got their a whole different thing. I'm calling him out because he's pretending. He's pretending. And I don't know him like that, so I don't know like what he does in any other situation in life, but I'm looking at this situation. And he's pretending with my soulmate, as if that's like more. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. But this needs to be shared with the world.
It's definitely a big energy exchange.
It's a big energy exchange. And so, Molly, I would ask respectfully, wouldn't you want to only share that energy exchange with the person that you love most and want to have children with? Yeah.
You were saying that, like, if you only have one partner, you're not going to think about other people. But I actually feel like that might make you wonder even more.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing all these girls online, you'll be watching porn, you'll be thinking about all these other things, and it's like all you have is one person. And, like, I don't know, I feel like that would kind of open up a lot of curiosity.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy. I would like always be wondering what I was missing and like, did I miss out on something good because I was holding out for something that maybe turned out not to be what I thought it was.
Yeah, looking around, I can't say that I think I'm missing much, to be honest. Not around this table. I'm just saying.
Fired.
No, not around this table. I just say the country. Just in general. Not around this table.
Not around this table.
What am I missing? I have a. By the way,
is he missing anything?
Yeah. What?
See, like, he really meant that. Not around this table, but I'm looking. That's what he means. That's what he means. Is that you guys are all disgusting, and I have a beautiful wife and child. You guys are disgusting. That's evil. Because that's not how you approach people. You don't have to agree with people, but you still be respectful and kind to all people across the board, period. Now, if they impose on you, if they threaten your life or your children's life with either their stuff, then you can put your foot down. But I'm looking around and that doesn't seem like that's so crazy. That's crazy talk. That's evil. And it's this false posturing of righteousness that he thinks he has. And it's insane. It's crazy. And those women lost confused. That's a whole nother thing. They're not saying they're lost in the sauce with it. But a lot of those women that were there that are lost in the sauce doing the porn and all that stuff, they were like respectful to him when he was talking about his daughter. My daughter ran up to my leg and it's so cute. And then they were like, oh, you know what I mean? They were respectful to him the best that they know how to be, right? But he's just like, oh, well, you think that's you're gonna be a mother one day? Oh, why don't you think that you're gonna be a good mother? Oh, well, if I look around, that's disgusting. That's not love, and I guarantee I'm gonna stop there. It's a mess. And don't fall for that kind of stuff. Don't fall for that kind of stuff, because that's not love, that's not Christianity, that's not God, that's not reflection of Jesus, that's not no type of example. I don't care that he has the nuclear family. What that mean? Everybody could toss that around. It don't mean that you really live in the right light, in the right life. So I just don't have no type of like I don't even know the word. For that type of energy from people. I don't want that around me. I don't like that. because it's evil. It's evil. You can't fight evil with that weird type of passive aggressive, evil, fake niceness, conservative title, nuclear family. Like, that's just false, fake, phony, evil, Satan, deceptive love. So that's what I had to say about that. Okay, let me get to some calls real quick, and then we'll see what else we got here. Let me get to Renesio out of Los Angeles. Renesio, welcome to the show. You're on there.
Hey, Joel.
How's it going, man?
All right, man. Yeah, that was very profound what you were saying. But to get off topic a little bit,
Yeah, no worries.
saying to not try, to not try, you know?
Say it one more time.
To not try with the ladies, you know?
Oh yeah.
Don't try with the girls. Like, it's all going to happen organically, right?
Are you asking me if I believe that? I don't get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm asking you because that's what you said before. It's like, don't try.
Exactly. Don't try. Let it happen naturally. And if you're trying, it's because you're thinking that whatever you're gonna get is gonna fulfill the void you have within, which is a lack of love, a lack of peace. So if you're trying, it's out of desperate.
Oh, desperation. That's what it is.
Yeah, desperation. Well, it's just what you want, because what you're looking for is love, right? We're all looking for love. So we think that these ideas of relationships or a woman or friendship and all these things are going to provide that void of love. And it's just not true. So we're just looking for love in other people when we're searching, when we're seeking other
fill
things.
that void, right?
Yeah, we're looking to fill that void with other people, which is the love of God. That's why we're supposed to seek first God, and He'll add all things to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I understood. Yeah, that's what I understood from when you first said it. But is there like a spectrum of time? Like, do you think, like, how devoted can you be until you realize that you're wasting your time? You know,
Wasting your time. What do you mean?
when you're wasting your time, like being loyal to just a girl.
I'm confused on what you mean. Waste, like when you're interested in the girl, and then what do you mean by wasting your time?
When you, well, I don't need to waste your time. Everything else, just to be with that girl.
I don't get what you're asking me.
Is there a time limit of just not trying?
So, like, if you're seeking God, is there a time limit that you have to seek God for Him to send you a woman?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, if that's the case, then you're only seeking God in a phony way. You're only seeking God just so He can give you a woman, and that's not genuine. You know what I mean? And I understand the intent of your question, because you want to, I'm sure, have a wife or children or whatever the case is, and you may mean well with that, but you still have to be honest with the fact that if you're thinking about how you can do the right things so a God can send you a woman, that's still an agenda. That's still not a genuine approach to seeking God first.
Yeah, that makes sense, but I'm not asking for God.
Oh, you're not looking for God?
Well, I'm not asking for God to give me a woman. You know, I'm just waiting.
You're waiting for God to give you a woman?
Right? Isn't that like?
Well, you shouldn't.
Just like to wait around.
Say that
Hate
last part
everything,
again.
The purpose is just to like hate everything and just wait till things fall into place.
Right. You just want things, but you don't even want to sit around and wait either, because waiting will have you feeling this pain because you're thinking that you're waiting for something to come. So it's a setup as well. You don't even want to think about waiting. You just want to seek God. You just want to like do what's right. And what I mean by that is just like focus on yourself, get to know yourself, overcome, do what's right, and learn about yourself and grow in that. And if it's meant for you to get married or meet somebody, then it'll happen. But if you have this idea that you're waiting for somebody to come, then you're going to be constantly in this battle of like, when is it? I'm doing this. And that's still not correct. You know what I mean?
So I know what you mean, but isn't that the same thing as not trying? Like, if you don't try, you're just sitting around.
Well, we have to accept the fact that we may not get married. That has to be something that is a thought as well. You may not get married. It may not be meant for you to marry. We want God's will to be done, right? And if you think if we try to go outside of that, then we're not going to get what we really want, right? We're not going to get the wife and the children and the family that's peaceful and of God if we don't.
Yeah, Joe,
You know what I mean?
I could accept that. But that's a vocation that would, from the voice of God, you know?
What do you mean?
Why didn't I hear that way before?
Why didn't you what?
Why didn't I hear the vocation to abide by God years ago?
What do you mean? Why didn't you hear the vocation? What do you mean?
To you know, I mean, like, you either get married or.
Were you taught growing up that marriage was something that you should do? Where does this interest of marriage come from?
Yeah, it came from the Bible. Yeah, that's what I grew up.
And what makes you think that marriage is a good thing?
I don't know.
Well, let me ask it better. Why do you want to get married?
No, that's not my question. I mean, my question is like, there's a path. Everybody has a guide. Everybody has a guide, and soon you're gonna find out that you're walking that path with nowhere to go.
You're walking that path with nowhere to go. I'm still not quite catching what you're trying to ask. Why do you want to get married, though?
I don't.
But you do, though, because you're asking me, like, how long do you need to wait? Should you not try? There's a desire for you to want to get married.
That was my previous question to you, because that's something that you say on your show a lot.
Oh, okay.
Don't try. And then, how long do you not have to try for?
Oh, okay. Well, there's no time limit. There's no length of time. You just seek God first. And I know, and it ain't always easy. Sometimes you want somebody. Sometimes there's this interest to go talk to somebody you think is interested in you, all those things. I get it, but we have to understand that God has to add all things, and we want God's will to be done. So there is no time limit on how long you need to wait.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Renesio. I appreciate it.
All right. Peace.
All right, man. Let me go to Alex out of Tennessee. Alex, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Joel. How are you?
All is well. How's it going?
All is well, man. So yeah, it's really interesting the thing you got on there, and it's what kind of occurred to me about it was just the that he's made a judgment about them, and they've made a judgment about him, and so they're just two devils judging each other.
Exactly.
And you know, and the one thing I think that a lot of people miss, and I missed it for a long time myself until I started really seeking and wanting to understand and, asking God to show me what's going on with me, is having a judgment about yourself as being good. That, I think, is something almost, because really, like all the best stories, I love storytelling and like movies and stuff like that. And I think my favorite stories are the ones where you can empathize with the villain and the hero.
Yeah.
And how the villain and the hero kind of could have been each other at some point. Like Batman and the Joker, for instance. Like Batman could have been the Joker, and the Joker could have been Batman. They're both tragic people in a way. They're tragic characters, and the hero and the villain are very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And they're just a moment away from becoming each other. And when you judge yourself, when you think of yourself as good, you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
and you can't help but be wicked because you're not. Because you think you're good, now you think other people are bad, and you've become a judge, which is what God asks us not to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the point, just so I can chime in really quick, is that's the point there that I was trying to make, is that when you go approach all people, transgender, gay, or whatever, you show them the same respect, because there's also things, and I've seen this before multiple times in my life, there's also things that we quote unquote deem the other person to be bad, but they also have other things about them that are their strengths that are my weaknesses. Right?
Right.
It doesn't have to be the gay thing and I'm straight, so I'm more moral than they are. No, that's a blanket thing. It's more so that there's other things in their life that they're good at that I can learn from. But if you have this judgment of that I'm more than or I'm less than and all these things, you can't really see the truth.
Right. You're exactly right. And that's proof, even more proof that all thoughts are all lies all the time.
Yeah.
Because even with people that you think that you think are good people or whatever, you know what I mean? People you've known your whole life, all of a sudden they do something that shatters your image of who you thought they were, and now you hate them.
Exactly.
Now you're angry at them, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. And it's a confusing thing to go through, because it doesn't make sense. If you love them, you shouldn't, no matter what happens, if you believe in love the way you claim to, which most people don't.
100%. It shouldn't change. It shouldn't matter too much, because you know that you just love them the proper way, and you know that it's not based upon what they do or say. It's based upon the truth of the matter. So 100%, Alex, and that's what people, and that's the point that I make too as well with this whole Charlie Kirk and these girls. Like you said, they're just judging each other, and one thinks that one's better, one thinks the other one's better. So it's like a pointless interview, a pointless sit down. Nobody's gonna get to the truth. Nobody's trying to get to the truth because nobody cares about the truth.
Yeah, and even if he was genuine in his desire to see them have families and raise children, which I doubt, even if he was genuine in that, he wouldn't impose that on them as something that would be good for them, because how do you know what someone needs or doesn't need? You don't even know what you need.
100%. Exactly. Yeah, man. It's a crazy thing, but that's why we got to really seek for ourselves within wisdom and all these things, because if we try to put people on a pedestal and get it from them and just walk around as if we got it down, and we end up doing the wrong things and judging people and all that stuff. So right on, Alex. 100%. I appreciate it. Nice.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So I came to church last Sunday. I'm visiting from out of town, and it was amazing. I have to say, it was incredible, and it was really is more evidence to the fact that your imagination is nothing like the reality of the situation. It's like, no matter how many times I've seen you guys on YouTube or whatever, it's like, to see you all in person is like just totally different. Reality is always like, your imagination and your thoughts are always crushed by the weight of reality. It's awesome.
100%. Well, I appreciate it. You came out last week, you said?
Yeah. Well, last Sunday, the previous Sunday. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I
I
want to have you.
I don't think I talked to you. I talked to
Okay.
Nick and Sean. I didn't talk to Hake, and I talked to some of the people, there at church at fellowship, and my mind's eye view of what these people look like
I
by
know.
the sound of their
I
voices
know.
was completely wrong.
Different. I know.
And
I'll go ahead. Finish your point.
I'm just saying it's so humbling when you
Yeah.
take the journey, and
Yeah.
that's the thing that people need to do is take the journey and try to see for themselves.
See for yourself. Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I'm asked the guys, which one were you? I won't have you explain it over the air, so you can keep your identity secret. But
I gave Sean a couple books that I brought with me.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, so he would probably know, and I talked to Nick for a little while. So, yeah.
Right on, Alex. Well, call me again. Great call, man.
All right, wish you well, guys.
All right, bye. Shout out to my mods because I'm looking at the chat and they're talking about super chats. So shout out to the mods for reminding me. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. So let me check. Let me look. Matthew on YouTube bought a donut and says, I want to see more Joel 2 hours and on Friday. You know it makes sense, Joel. There's some talk about a Friday show. And I'm trying to work things out. Maybe it'll work, maybe it doesn't, but there's some talks. So maybe if the Lord is willing and it makes sense, we'll add another day. I don't know. But I appreciate that, Matthew. Pablo bought a few donuts. Right on, Pablo. He says, great show. Keep asking them what that mean. Did I say it like that? Was I like, what that mean? What that mean? That's so black. But thanks, Pablo. I appreciate it. Let me see. Super chat on YouTube. TWPB says, since it's Bible Thumper Thursday, Colossians 2:8 is fitting. Colossians 2:8. Let's see if we can get it up in time. Colossians 2:8 says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. 100%. Don't let any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. This is why know for yourself. Know for yourself. And if you don't know, it's okay to ask for advice and stuff like that, but you still don't want to believe the advice just because you want to answer. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, I understand. Confusion and not knowing sucks. Right? Because you want to know now so it can help you throughout your life. But you also don't want to seek a feeling. You know what I mean? Just to feel better. You want it to be when it's supposed to come. So if somebody tells you something, still don't just believe it. Still wait and see, examine it, let God reveal it, because you want to know that you know, so you never have to rely on anybody else, and also you will never put them on a pedestal. So don't let no man fool you through philosophy and vain deceit, because if he does, it ain't his fault, it's your fault. Because you believed another human being. Don't even believe Jesus' words in the Bible. Don't even just believe those without knowing. Because that's what the Christians do, and that's why the Christians are all jacked up. Just because Christ said it, so it's got to be true, and they don't even know if it's true, and they just bang people over the head like it, with people over the head with it. Like Charlie Kirk did in these girls in this interview. Family, marriage. Like, come on, man. But great point. TWPB. I don't even want to try to ask or guess what that means. But thank you, man, or woman. Appreciate it. Matthew sends some hammers. Like that. Right on. Krishan on James' show said something that was interesting to me that makes sense with the whole thing we just talked about today. And I want to get to that before we end the show, but let me get to a call here. Is line 1 for me, Sean or James? Okay. Let me go to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
My brother Joel, what's going on, man? I got to sign in on this one, man.
Nice.
Well, here's the thing I got.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if these girls are porn stars or, or fans only page, whatever. Here's what liberals do. They want a way out. They really do. Now, I'm not for trying to make people feel bad, but I'm also for telling people the truth when they ask me. If you understand what I'm saying, Joel, let's say like they asked me, like what's one of the girls like? Basically, they was asking them, look, I want a family, and and if they ask them how they have a successful family, I believe God wants you to share that with them.
Yeah.
Because for instance, when if a woman is a porn star, you know that she can't work in a health field or around children.
You said, like by law?
Yeah. If she's a porn star and they find out, they don't want her in the health industry, they want her around children.
Nice.
So, I mean, I would have said, hey, men, that's why it was one guy named Kevin Samuels. Man, people hated that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the black women.
Yeah, I remember
that. He was just telling it like it was.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you want a family. Men do not like women with a high body count, nor I wouldn't advise a woman to marry a man got 5 kids with 5 different women. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, that I'm not judging her if I'm telling her.
Right.
Okay, just like, okay, for instance, like, if I'm broke.
Yeah.
I say, hey, Joel, you are successful financially, man. And by you telling me, you're not judging me. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for a lifeline. I want deliverance.
Right.
And I think if you tell a person something that they're looking for, and then if you tell them, I don't believe you're being judgmental. I believe you being truthful with them. That's the gospel. Share the truth.
I agree.
Want deliverance.
I agree.
Now, I wouldn't have been that soft like he was, though. Because just imagine having that guy on The View. If he was that soft on The View, man, them hyenas would attack him and eat him alive.
Well, the thing is, I think he was being fake soft because he was looking at himself as better than they were. Like, if Charlie Kirk is not he definitely is not afraid to speak his mind, and he does that in other like conservative. I mean, you're probably more familiar with him than I am, but he does that in other.
It's my first time hearing.
Oh, okay.
Hearing about this, Jim.
Oh, okay, so he definitely speaks his mind other places. Like, he's a outspoken conservative on all types of issues. So he's not afraid to speak his mind. But right now he went in there soft with the ladies because he felt better than them. And this is from my perspective. But he felt like he was better than they were, and he didn't want to come off as too judgmental. So he did that fake soft Christian voice.
I think that's what he was worrying about. I don't want them to think I'm judging them.
Right.
No, what? Just like you see me still in there, Joel. You come up and say, "Hey, Rick, why are you doing that for? You are not judging me. You're just trying to holding me accountable. But you don't know why I'm doing it. Only God knows the heart why I'm doing it.
Right.
But if you tell me, hey, Rick, man, don't do that, man. You may wind up in jail. You are looking out for me as a brother in Christ, and you're holding me accountable.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, when people say don't judge me, it's another way of them saying, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Even if it is wrong. That's all that is. Because we can't judge between good and evil. That's all we're doing is judging between good and evil.
Right.
And, I like for people to hold me accountable because when people come ask me something, I'm going to be truthful.
Honest.
Say
exactly.
it involved,
Exactly.
But I'm gonna keep it truthful.
Exactly.
Because if I come to you for advice, I'm telling you right there, I want you to be truthful with me. If you guys come out on me a little harsh, I'll take it.
Right.
Because I want the truth. I'd rather for somebody come at me harsh than somebody butter me up all nice and lying to me. Just like if I come ask you, I can dance. And Joy, you know I can't dance a lick. I want you to tell me, Rick, man, I don't think this your calling, my brother.
Right. Especially if you're coming there to learn how to dance. And that's the
Right.
thing is like,
You know, be honest with me.
Yeah. We got to learn how to
I
win
can
and be
dance,
honest.
I go out there and then let the audience tell you that you suck.
Right.
Then I'm gonna come back to you and say, hey, Joe, I thought you said I was good.
Exactly. See, that's all
know.
false emotional needs to cater and all that stuff. We got to learn how to be strong when we
Right.
need to be strong and when we need to shut up when we need to shut up, and we got to learn how to do that as well.
Absolutely.
But
That's what people don't have. A lot of people are angry, so when people do try and help somebody, they got an angry spirit behind it, and it just don't come out right.
Exactly.
And people can sense when you're angry. They
No.
know it, and just like we always put out, anger you if you're following the devil, because when you come out somebody angry, it's like you judging them.
It's like
you're like.
Exactly. It's all about the spirit. I hate to cut you off, Rick, but I'm so out of time here. But
No problem there, Joel.
100%.
That was a good topic, dog. I'm glad I was able to get in.
Thank
Man,
you.
I tell you, this has been a good time for William to call in.
Now you might trigger a response. We'll find out. But thank you, Rick.
William, come on. Yeah, I love y'all. Be blessed,
All right.
Joel.
All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Man. Let me say this last thing. Krishan on James' show, The Hake Report, yesterday. Go check it out if you missed it. I think he's going to be back tomorrow. But it was a good episode between James and Krishan the Don from Misfit Nation. But Krishan said there's a difference between slander and judgment. And I thought that was so true because, and he was saying that Jesus and God wants us to judge. And I want to just break down the two really quick, and then I got to end. Slander to me is judgment with hate, right? So what Charlie Kirk did was slanderous, right? He was trying to pretend not to be judgmental, but even him by trying not to pretend and be soft was judgmental. It was obvious that he was being judgmental, right? But slander is judgment with hate. But I don't like this word judgment in today's time, modern time. I don't think that it'll ever come out properly. I think, and I know people say discernment, but I think when you have understanding about something, when you have true insight and understanding, that's what righteousness is. You want understanding. And when you have understanding, you can see how to deal with all things. So judgment, to me, I view judgment as anything that has an emotional tie to it, which is the knowledge of good and evil. And judgment is having an opinion about something, whether it's right or wrong, but it's false because emotion is attached to it. We don't want judgment. We want understanding. But I believe Krishan was speaking of that understanding. He's not slandering people, he's saying that he's speaking up on what he sees from an understanding place, trying to lift his brother up. I don't know if he's actually doing that or not, but that's the point he was trying to make. And I agree with that. We need to have understanding and not judgment / slander or condemnation or all that stuff. You know what I mean? So false righteousness is arrogance. Arrogance is superiority, like you're better than somebody. And superiority is hate. It's judgment. And it's pure evil. And we're all at any point capable of that happening to. Nobody is exempt. I don't care you're Christian, walking with the Lord or not. At any moment, you can be exactly like Charlie Kirk if you're not willing to admit and be honest with yourself and keep a pure heart. Nobody is exempt. I gotta end. American Anchor Baby's coming in right now. Chat and mods, love y'all. I gotta end. Until next time, American Anchor Baby's coming in. Watch his show. Check it out. Amazing stuff. See you guys on Monday. I'm gone for the week. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.